See the guy in the yellow jacket over there by the budget sign? He's gonna rent us a nice big van, and we're gonna drive to Milwaukee.
Welcome, Mike, to the amazing Milwaukee movie location extravaganza.
In fact, isn't Milwaukee an Indian name?
Yes, Pete, it is.
When a movie either takes place in Milwaukee or has scenes in Milwaukee, what is the reason behind that? I mean, the Dahmer products that are out there have an obvious answer. But when you say something like Dawn of the Dead, Milwaukee, so when Hollywood makes a movie, they say, what's the location? New York, Los Angeles, or a city that has something like a Chicago or Seattle or something that has like some sort of character or purpose for it to be there. And I think they pick Milwaukee. It's either small town USA with the little Main Street. And they say, oh, the small town USA, or we need a big city, but a city that's not too big that people know nothing about, that kind of is like the big city version of small town USA.
Yes.
See, my experience comes from whenever I travel anywhere and someone says, where are you from? You know, and I say, Milwaukee. They go, oh.
And you say, it's a little north of Chicago. Oh, I know Chicago.
Right. Oh, you see, I'm from New York. They go, oh, New York. I'm from Los Angeles. Oh, Los Angeles. Yeah. I'm from Florida. Even Florida. You just say Florida. Oh, I know Florida. Disney World.
Yeah.
It's like Milwaukee. It's kind of like saying Cleveland.
Cleveland?
Cleveland. Uh-huh.
That's also big small city. But Milwaukee people go, oh, okay, beer, bratwurst, the Fonz.
Well, one of the big ones is on my list in terms of like movies that people know Milwaukee from. One of the most famous ones, and it's not even a Milwaukee movie, but the scene in Wayne's World, where they go to Milwaukee.
Should be pretty close to Milwaukee by now.
They see the Alice Cooper concert in Milwaukee, and so that's the thing that people always bring up. They quote Wayne's World.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee, which is Algonquin for the good land.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
So that's kind of what kickstarted this. I was thinking about things like that, where it's like if you say you're from Milwaukee, if people are like associated with pop culture, there's a couple specific things they bring up. And that Wayne's World scene is probably the most famous Milwaukee movie scene.
Although Wayne's World is, that takes place in what's the city?
Aurora,
which is, not far from Milwaukee. So I would also like to mention, I don't know if this is brought up, but this is Spinal Tap.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
They go to Milwaukee to play Shank Hall, which is a fictional, in that movie, it's a fictional venue, but then has become a real venue. The Shank Hall in the movie is bigger.
Yeah.
And then someone at some point after that movie came out made a Shank Hall on the east side, and it's just like a little dive bar.
It's very small, yeah, but they do have musical performances there.
Yeah, it's a working venue, and that's where we saw Tim Heidecker perform.
Yeah.
After he did our Half in the Bag episode about 40 years ago now.
Excuse me? You good?
We saw him and Neil Hamburger and
DJ Doug Pound.
DJ Doug Pound.
It was a great night.
In the mix.
Yeah.
But that's sort of like a I don't know, a connection. I don't know.
Well, that's on my list. That falls into that category of things that are set in Milwaukee but not shot in Milwaukee.
Right.
So, but the most famous, if we want to start the list with the most famous Milwaukee scene that nobody associates with Milwaukee, the most famous movie, I would say, arguably, shot in Milwaukee is probably The Blues Brothers, and that's, of course, the Chicago movie. Not a movie shot in Chicago. That is the Chicago movie.
Correct.
But they did have a little sequence that they shot here in Milwaukee.
And that sequence is
The famous Hone Bridge. It's one of the most famous scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
No one knows it was shot here.
Yeah, at if you've never seen Blues Brothers, they're in the car chase at the end, and they've run out of freeway in Chicago, and so they hit the brakes. The Bluesmobile hangs off the edge, and the Illinois Nazis, their car flies up into the sky.
It somehow ends up taller than the Sears Tower.
Right, and then flies back down.
And then falls down.
What a film.
I've always loved you.
I've always wondered, and maybe you know this, if they shot that here, if they said we need to find a road that's unfinished,
Yeah.
or if they knew that was being built and they said, hey, let's incorporate that into the movie.
Oh,
I've always wondered which came
chicken and the egg
first.
situation.
Yeah,
I don't know. I know that I would imagine it was written into the script. That's a big sequence just to add on a whim.
That's true. You got to
So-
drop a car from
Yeah.
so high.
And I think I remember hearing that they looked around at nearby places to try and find the perfect piece of road that ended.
Okay.
There was but I'm not sure 100%. So
It is funny, yeah, because
I know who we could ask.
Oh, who?
The production designer for the film,
Mort Solomon?
Marvin Solomon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who did you think I was talking about?
I didn't know. That's why I was asking.
Oh, okay.
It is funny, though, because you watch that scene and, like, being from Milwaukee, there's a very clear cut where they're driving in Chicago, and then there's just the Milwaukee skyline in the background. Notably, what used to be the U.S. Bank building.
It still is the U.S. Bank building. Jay,
Oh, it is. Well, it's got the big Baird sign on it now.
you go up Lake Drive and you go to the other side, it's Baird, U.S. Bank, Baird, U.S. Bank.
Okay.
On different sides of the buildings because it's like a co-ownership now. When you're coming in from the Hone Bridge, from that direction, you see the Baird sign, but if you're coming in from the southwest, you see the U.S. Bank sign.
Okay. We utilized the U.S. Bank building in our movie Space Cop. We flew a plane into it.
So yeah, that was a film here out of necessity, and then there's like, I thought you were going to mention Transformers 3.
But it was a flight over the Milwaukee Art Museum and the Calatrava that really caught Hollywood's eye. This is something the director felt he couldn't get anywhere else, and so the crew will shoot a major part of Transformers 3 here.
Here we are on Milwaukee's lakefront in front of the world-famous Milwaukee Art Museum. This particular building was featured in the film Transformers 3, Rise of the Diapers. Its unique design was created by world-famous architect Azanaman Chupacabra. They cleaned out the inside of it, or whatever. They threw all the art out.
That little guy with the chair on his head, they just threw that thing right in the garbage.
Right, yeah. They just, we need to make room for a bunch of like exotic automobiles.
Yeah.
And it's this famous rich guy's lair or office. I didn't see the movie.
You didn't see that part of the movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We each watched half of the
I
film.
didn't see that part. But clearly that this billionaire guy with this extravagant office or whatever that was did not have that office in Milwaukee. It was probably supposed to be Los Angeles or
Well, no, most of the movie's in Chicago.
Chicago.
So
right.
that is convenient where they're filming most of the movie in Chicago, come up here for a couple days to film that scene.
So that's very similar in concept, whereas a Chicago location is, a Milwaukee location is doubling for somewhere in Chicago.
Yeah.
The building looks like a bird or something. And then...
Wayne's World is more, that's story convenience because Rob Lowe's character is trying to get Wayne and Garth out of the picture so he can steal Wayne's girlfriend. So he gives them tickets to go see Alice Cooper in Milwaukee.
Look, there's Sharp Brewery.
Which they're in the suburbs of Chicago. That's realistic for them to drive up here.
Well, that's a plot-driven thing, and so is Public Enemies.
Public Enemies is an interesting one because in researching this, I was looking that up. And there's very little actually shot in Milwaukee. It was shot all over Wisconsin and all over like northern Illinois.
Yeah.
But there's only like 2 little bits that are actually shot in Milwaukee.
The Milwaukee County Historical Center.
Yeah.
And various downtown locations.
Behind me is the building they used for the exterior of Kristen Wiig's apartment in the movie Bridesmaids. Years later, they recycled that exact same shot for the movie The Legend of Foggy Mountain by the comedy troupe Please Don't Destroy. They're hilarious.
Again, now that is, Kristen Wiig's character is a rube who goes down to a more enlightened, high society, elegant wedding in Chicago, and she's just a rube that lives off Kinnickinnick Avenue, as we call KK, up here in a filthy apartment building.
I always wondered why they picked that apartment building. It's just like a random-ass building.
That's probably why.
Because they didn't film any of the movie in Milwaukee except for like a second unit crew, clearly. The opening credits, there's a couple like helicopter shots of the city. She works at a jewelry store, and they did get an actual establishing shot of a store. That was shot in Milwaukee, that establishing shot, somewhere south of downtown. And then, yeah, some random apartment building. They just picked it. Like, why even bother? There's one of the Dahmer movies, the Jeremy Renner Dahmer movie. I had that same thought, because that was also, they didn't shoot any of it in Milwaukee except for a couple of establishing shots. And famously, of course, the Dahmer apartment building was tore down after everything happened. So they just found like some other dumpy apartment building off of Wisconsin Avenue on like 29th Street. We'll just shoot that. And it's like, why even come here to shoot that? Just shoot a dumpy apartment building in LA where you shot the rest of the movie.
The Dahmer case, he killed a lot of people, and a lot of their family members still live here. And it's still, even though, it happened in the 90s, it's still a very sore spot for a lot of people. So, a big Hollywood production coming here and just filming nonstop for weeks and weeks and weeks, filming buildings and, maybe.
You film a Transformers movie here, everybody gets excited. You have a guy walking around downtown dressed as Dahmer, probably not.
Because it is a black eye on the city.
My Friend Dahmer is only playing here in Milwaukee at the Times Cinema. Marcus Theaters was scheduled to show it, but changed their mind. We are a family-friendly environment, and there are a lot of great movies out this holiday season. We did not feel it necessary to revisit this time in Milwaukee's history.
For some reason, in the early 2000s, there was a handful of like independent movies that were shot in Milwaukee. I don't know why. Some of them weren't made by like Milwaukee locals. I don't know how they ended up being shot here. There's a movie called Lady in the Box that was primarily shot at Barnacle Bud's, a little seafood place right on the river, just south of downtown. There's a movie called Chump Change, which that guy was from Milwaukee. So they go to like the domes, it's mostly just a montage of like Milwaukee bars. But then there was a movie called Milwaukee, Minnesota, where I think the conceit is that people keep confusing Milwaukee. They think it's in Minnesota. And that was shot primarily in like Bayview, in like the southern, just south of downtown. But they shot a bunch of Milwaukee, Minnesota at the Palomino, the famous Palomino bar that we used to shot a little bit of Feeding Frenzy there.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like a handful of like indie movies that were shot here in the early 2000s. And now nothing shoots here. Another mostly forgotten movie, but one that was kind of a big deal at the time it was being made, is the Bernie Mac vehicle, Mr. 3000. In that he plays for the Brewers. And so it's like, I'm assuming they ended up having it was probably written in a way where it could be any team in any city. And somehow they landed on shooting it in Milwaukee and having him play for the Brewers.
I've never seen the film, but from what I understand, the premise is he's retired, but he wants to come back to hit his 3000th home run.
He thought he did, and immediately after he hit his 3000s, he was at the top of his game, but he retired. So he's like, I made it, I got my 3000, I'm out. And then like 9 years later, they discover that it was miscounted, so he's like 3 short.
Okay.
So he has to start playing again, to hit his final 3, but now he's old and out of shape. The only thing, even though it takes place in Milwaukee, the only thing shot here were the stadium scenes. And there's a part, because early on he retires, he makes his 3,000 home runs, and he just starts opening up businesses that are all tied in with him being Mr. 3000.
But wait, there's more.
And at one point he mentions that they're opening a new location in Waukesha County. Which, of course, anyone doesn't know, it's pronounced Waukesha.
Located on Peacock Street in Waukesha County.
If you're making a movie set in Milwaukee, you think someone would bother to check the pronunciation of the nearby area, but he just calls it Waukesha, and it's just in the movie.
Bernie Mac says that?
Bernie Mac says it.
See, now Bernie Mac's a Chicago man.
Yeah, you think he would know. I don't know.
He's a Chicago native.
Everybody that is in Milwaukee that has any interest in working on productions worked on that film as an extra, because they have all the scenes in the, I still call it Miller Park, but now it's like the, what is it, family?
AmFam.
The AmFam, the American Family Field. And they just needed to fill those stadiums, so they got tons and tons of locals. So anytime you would hold an audition for anything we would work on, people would show up with their resume, and they always had Mr. 3000 on their resume. It's like person in crowd.
Had he played for the Dodgers or the Yankees, you know, those teams that always win, and then you pick like a heartwarming Midwestern town that has character and soul and heart. And it's cheaper to get Bob Uecker.
Bob Uecker's not in that movie.
What?
Bob Uecker is in the movie that was shot in Milwaukee, but not set in Milwaukee. The other famous sports movie, Major League.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
That was one I hadn't seen it since it came out. I knew that they shot it in Milwaukee, but I couldn't remember if it was based in Milwaukee, what the team was.
Yeah.
It's funny, you were talking earlier about Cleveland. That's the team in the movie, is the Cleveland Indians.
Set in Cleveland, shot in the old Milwaukee County Stadium.
But they shot and this must have been, they got a good deal on it before they tore down the old county stadium, now where the Miller Park / AmFam Stadium is.
1988 was the summer of movie magic in Milwaukee, and a chance for thousands of locals to pack the stadium and cheer for a team that didn't exist.
I always wanted to say that I'd been an extra in a movie.
They shot all the home games, the Cleveland games, at the Milwaukee Stadium.
You could see County Stadium preserved on film forever in the seminal art house film, Surviving Edged Weapons.
Yes, yes.
What the fuck do you want? I want to see your driver's license. What for? Christ, I'm only a block from home. Why don't you let me go?
Speaking of sports movies, the classic comedy Basketball takes place in Milwaukee. But they didn't film a single fucking frame of it here.
Here we are at Marquette University in downtown Milwaukee. This is where the opening of the classic Chris Farley comedy Tommy Boy takes place. It's a very funny scene. He's running around campus. He doesn't want to be late for his exam, but they didn't shoot any of that here. They shot it all in Canada.
Fuck you, Canada. We're now at the entrance to the Wisconsin State Fair Park, where in the movie Song Sung Blue, we see Hugh Jackman performing. You think they filmed it here? Yes? What are you, stupid? Of course they didn't.
Hello, sailors. Here we are on the shores of Lake Michigan, which does not have a large tropical island in the middle of it, as Zack Snyder would have you think. No, this lake is just filled with human waste and cryptosporidium.
What is the most Milwaukee movie? As far as like shot here, takes place here, has lots of memorable Milwaukee locations in it.
American movie.
American movie was the big one for me until this recent discovery that we'll get into. But we can talk about American movie first, because that is probably the biggest one.
Do you think this is a little bit cathartic for you?
Very cathartic, Mark.
Do you know what cathartic means?
No.
And I look at it a little bit different because it's a documentary. It's not like a fictional thing that they had to scout locations. They just filmed Mark Borchardt running around making his movie. But that is, that's like the classic Milwaukee movie.
But in terms of the characters, the mindsets, the accents, the culture.
American movie has the most Milwaukee flavor to it.
Flavor.
Yes, yes.
Does he go to a fish fry?
He doesn't go to a fish fry, no, but he drinks a whole lot.
It's pronounced Coven, man. What else could it be pronounced?
Coven. That's the proper pronunciation.
No, Coven sounds like oven, man, and that's just, it doesn't work.
Here we are outside of Mitchell Hall on the UW-Milwaukee campus. This is where the entirety of Mark Borchardt's Coven was edited, inside this building on very, very outdated equipment.
They're making a mockery out of my words, man. This whole thing is turning into a theatrical mockery. You understand that, Mike? No. Well, you will. I'm gonna go in there flying, man, and read this fucker like it's supposed to be read, because I've had it.
I'll tell my American Movie story. I think American Movie is a great documentary, even like disconnecting our association to Milwaukee or whatever. It's just a really good documentary. And it came out in like 99. It was like shortly after I moved to Milwaukee. And I don't know how I heard about it. Someone said, hey, there's a premiere of this movie that was shot in Milwaukee at the Oriental Theater. So I went to the premiere of American Movie. And before it started, Mike Shank, his friend that helps him throughout the film, comes and sits down next to me. But this is before the movie started, so I didn't know who he was. He just sat next to me. And then the movie starts, and I see Mike Shank on the screen, and I did like a double take. I was like, oh, hey. But then like 10 minutes into the movie, 15 minutes into the movie, Mike Shank got up, and he left, and I assumed he was like going to the bathroom or something, but then he just never came back. They did the Q&A after the movie. Mark Borchardt was up there. Mike Shank was just nowhere to be seen. I don't know what happened to him.
I know what happened to him.
Who knows?
We used to do a lot of partying together, but I don't party anymore.
I have to mention the biggest surprise in all of this, not including American Movie, which is a documentary, the most Milwaukee movie I've ever seen. And I didn't even know it existed until doing my research for this. And it's a made-for-CBS TV movie from the mid-90s called Family of Cops. I thought when it started, because I saw that it was shot in Toronto and Milwaukee. So I thought it was going to be like a Bridesmaids situation where they just get some establishing shots and then the rest of it's shot in Canada. But no, they're all, you see, it's Charles Bronson, elderly Charles Bronson, and he's running around the city.
Does he stop for cheese curds and custard?
There's no cheese curds and custards. No, they go into a bar
fry.
and a guy's wearing a comedy sports shirt. But as far as what I've seen, this is the most Milwaukee locations I've ever seen portrayed in a movie. Well, I looked at it, I was like, this has to be written by someone from Milwaukee. Because not just the locations, but it's crammed with so many references.
For the last 20 years, I've been asking you if we can make you a birthday party, and you say, well, maybe when the Brewers win the pennant. So what, did I miss a parade down Wisconsin Avenue?
When did you move to the 3rd Ward?
You don't miss Milwaukee even a little?
We get that weekend in the Wisconsin Dells. That's a great idea. Then maybe we can go to Summerfest.
Didn't Avram Weiss represent Jeffrey Dahmer?
No.
There was a murder the other night on Wisconsin Avenue.
Who do you think you are hanging out in bathrooms? The Fonz?
So this wins.
This wins the most Milwaukee movie. Not in terms of flavor, like we were talking about American Movie. Like those are very Milwaukee characters in that film. But as far as locations, lots of downtown stuff. The precinct that they're at, I don't think it's ever explained in the movie, but they keep calling it the brewery.
Call the brewery. Tell them there's been a homicide.
That's like the nickname for their precinct. Oh. And it wouldn't make sense to anyone that doesn't know the area, but they shot it. They show the exteriors of the precinct, and it's one of the Pabst buildings on like the Pabst brewery kind of area.
Complex over there, yeah.
So that's why they call it the brewery. But if you didn't know that, if you're not in the Milwaukee area, you just wonder, why do they keep calling their precinct the brewery? It's just like their nickname for it. And it's never explained.
Damn, I hate Milwaukee.
Every like 8 to 10 years, we'll get a big production, like the Transformers movie or Mr. 3000. And whenever that happens, there's always, every like local newspaper is the same headline, which is like, will Milwaukee be the next Hollywood of the Midwest?
Sad.
And it never happens.
I do see in my searches, I have come across many Wisconsin-y, Milwaukee-themed like movies. Usually they're like heartwarming, like dramas or movies like that. The major Hollywood big budget movies are kind of shrinking, and then the indie Fandango wasteland is expanding.
Yeah.
So it's like if a movie is filmed here, for a low budget, under $1 million, it's not as big of a deal as if Transformers shows up here. So,
but there also used to be a thing that doesn't exist anymore, where it's like wherever a movie takes place, they would just shoot it there.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an interview with Anthony Michael Hall, and he was talking about the original Vacation. Because that starts in Chicago, and they travel to Wally World out in California. And he talked about how the production actually made that trip.
You literally went on the road. Yeah, literally the whole crew went on that half a vacation across the country. It was incredible. So we did 3 stops in Colorado. Then we went to Arizona, and then we made our way back to LA.
So you see all these like different locations throughout the movie. They're in the deserts, they start in Chicago. And productions used to just do that. And now, like something like Bridesmaids, like they didn't actually film any of that in Milwaukee. You film all of it in LA, or you film it in Toronto.
Sound stages, and then you just get like a bare bones crew to get some establishing shots of buildings. So like the way productions work, and it makes sense because that is expensive to travel everybody around like that. Mm-hmm.
But they used to do it, and now that doesn't happen anymore.
Milwaukee, you should bottle it and sell it as Valium.